Hello friend, thanks for joining me for another video blog. Thanks for your energy, your time, your presence. And today I want to talk about adopting an attitude. Yes, the attitude of radical optimism. Radical optimism. You know, I've been promoting this big movement, me and many other people, spiritual teachers, life coaches, wellness teachers, and a lot of people are working in this movement towards love, because only love is going to help us to rise consciousness in our planet and get us out of this trouble, right? So let me just tell you a little bit about what inspired me to do this conversation. I have spoke to 2 or 3 people in the last 2 weeks who, you know, among our conversations, we're always talking about life and our planet and consciousness, right? Those are my friends. Those are people I'm related to. And a couple of them have expressed how they don't see a lot of hope for our planet, hope for our humanity. And they are more like in the, I would say, in the pessimism side of this scale, thinking that we're really heading towards possible extinction because we keep destroying our planet, we keep destroying each other. We all know that, and we are easily convinced that that might be the truth, that we're heading towards extinction based on our, first of all, our survival brain. Our brain is designed to seek the bad, to seek the danger. So we have a cognitive bias with that, right? So that's why we need to work on our mindset. We need to shift our focus a lot of times towards positivity, not unhealthy positivity, not that positivity that denies the darkness, that denies our emotions, that denies what's really happening that might be negative. I'm talking about a healthy, positive attitude that it's based on acknowledging the darkness and yet choosing to move towards the light, towards love in this case. What these friends had in common was, like, again, they are not very positive about where we're heading, and I totally get it. So number one, we have this cognitive bias. But the second biggest culprit of this movement on fear, which is the biggest virus of all, is the press, is the media, is the newscast, because fear sells. So if you are somebody, and I'm not here to judge anybody who's watching the news, I'm just here to share data, share facts, that the newscast, even some documentaries, even some Hollywood movies, they are designed to promote fear. So we need to be extremely protective with our energy these times, because we cannot, as humanity, we cannot afford to become hopeless. We cannot afford to become, you know, pessimists, because we are creating our reality as we go. And the only thing that is going to help us shift and stop hurting each other, stop judging each other, stop, you know, destroying our planet, it's love. And I'm here to you know, try to not have this like word love be a cliche, okay? It's not a cliche. It's the language. Love is the currency that will get us out of this problem. So let me share some data here with you and tell you that it's not true that everything is doomed and everything is worse than ever. It's not true. If you seek the news, I did a little research before this video, so I'll share this with you. I'll share some data. Did you know that in the last 25 years, the average of 137,000 people were lifted from extreme poverty? I know the number is not high, and yeah, it's a number, 137,000 people who were making $1.90 a day were lifted from that poverty. That's what's considered extreme poverty, okay? Women are more empowered. Women are, you know, showing up in the workforce. More women are choosing not to have children, or they're taking, you know, birth control. There's like more women have access to birth control, to education. So there's a huge increase in women empowerment. the death rate of HIV, which we know took a lot of lives back in the 80s, right? The death rate of HIV is only 0.14 per 1,000. So less than one person per 1,000. So very low HIV death rate. We have had the reduction of hunger and child labor. Now, if you want the specific data and the numbers, just go online and search for this data, okay? I just want to give you an overall good news picture that good things are happening. And it makes me sometimes very angry that the channels, the media, even again, Hollywood, all this media movement, the TV, the newspapers, they're not sharing. And if they're sharing this news, they'll put in a little corner on the page, or they will give 20 seconds, 30 seconds on the news and fill up the rest with fear-based news that is keeping everybody in this like hypnotic. It's not contributing to the cognitive bias system that we have. So people are like literally in a trance, locked in fear, and that's dangerous. What else? Life expectancy is higher. Child mortality is down. Violent crimes in US is going down. I know it's hard to believe when all you see over the news is the shootings that we have every day, right? But believe it or not, I heard this before in other sources. Violent crimes in US is going down. Solar energy is getting cheaper. The other sources of energy, cheaper energy coming up. Now let's share some news about the planet, because I have a huge tender spot, love for our animals, for our trees, for our planet. But get this, a new initiative will plant 18 million trees around Glasgow. That's the biggest city in Scotland. 18 million trees are being planted. New Australian marine parks will protect an area twice the size of the Great Barrier Reef. New Australian marine parks will protect the marine life. Bigger areas of protections. And many other good news. Leonardo DiCaprio announces 43 million pledge to save the Galapagos Islands. So we have a lot of good news, a lot of people, including people in Hollywood. I don't want to paint a bad picture. Not everything is good and not everything is bad, right? And again, what is being shared with us is usually the bad. So I'm sharing this with you because yes, if we're going to choose to put our attention in the news, what they're going to share with us, and get this, I hear very soon they're going to announce some facts about the existence of aliens and UFOs. Duh, that's been evident for many years in my humble opinion. You just look at the pyramids of Egypt. Who built that? Ancient civilizations that were way more advanced than us, right? There are tons of data showed by the military, ex-military coming evidence. And unfortunately, the news that might be shared with us around, extraterrestrial life is going to paint a fearful picture, like they are different than us. Well, they are, but they're going to paint a picture as we should fear them. So be aware of that. Now, I'm not here to be talking about UFOs and extraterrestrials. In my own opinion, they just other beings. We have millions of other galaxies and the other beings, other spiritual beings, just like we are spiritual beings living in this planet. There are other spiritual beings living in other systems, other planets. So be really aware what the media shares with you, with us, because they're only going to share a news based on their agenda. So the point of making this video is to ask you something, is to pledge something. We need to do the work. We need to raise consciousness and be all vibrating more in a love frequency. Now, as a coach, I'm here to teach you what that means. I'm not going to just leave you hang with that kind of abstract concept. How do we show evidence of being working towards or in the frequency of love and not fear? Number one, protect your energy. Cut the sources of this negativity. Cancel your cable maybe. Limit your access to the news. Like, be informed and don't be interested, because anything that you become interested in, that's what is going to pull your attention. And if you're putting your attention towards bad news, you will program yourself, you program your brain to be in fear. And again, fear is the worst virus that we can live in right now, because in the place of fear, we go into a state of survival, and in a state of survival, we are not resourceful. In a state of survival, we lose hope. We stop cooperating with each other, because in a state of survival, we become selfish. In a state of survival, the brain is constantly seeking what's gonna save me, protecting me, and it's based on competition. It's based on the strongest and the fittest will survive, and that's not true. That model, it's old. What's going to survive now is cooperation, is collaboration, is us working together. I always get reminded of that when I see 2-3 little birds chasing the hawks. There are a lot of hawks in my area, and I see these 2-3 tiny birds chasing the hawk away, and the hawk is running away because they're 2-3 little birds instead of just one, right? So we need to work together. So number one, protect your energy. You start limiting the source of fear. Like I had to do that with social media, with Facebook, which is another platform that is promoting fear. So number one is protect your energy. Number two, people. Fear sells, misery seeks misery. So if you have people in your life that are talking about how bad things are all the time, they're complaining about how terrible things are all the time, I would take space from those people, and maybe some of those friendships don't even serve you anymore. So evaluate the people you spend time with. Remember that saying that you become the average of the 5 people you spend time with. So that's also protect your energy around the people. Surround yourself with people who promote life force, growth, evolution, love. So that's the second thing, okay? And the third thing, seek joy. What gives you joy? Because when you engage in activities that give you joy, by default, you are elevated to a state of love. Because being in a state of joy means you experience something that increases your life force, and life force is the only thing we have. The life force is occurrence for action, is occurrence towards doing loving things for each other, for ourselves, for each other, for the planet. Take care of ourselves, take care of our community, take care of the planet. We all. That's why you got to take care of your own energy first, so you can become this source of love, of positivity, of growth. And again, I'm not talking about unhealthy positivity. I'm not denying, believe me, I know the darkness that's happening. I feel the darkness affect me a lot of times, and dark energy is really trying to affect me and take me down. And that happens as we all rise in our light and love. So I'm here to ask you to take this as our deepest spiritual, the most important work we can do right now. Most important work we can do right now is to heal ourselves so we can rise our vibration. Because if we're living in the past, we're living in fear. We're living in a state of depression. Or if we're living in the future, we live in a state of anxiety and fear. So we need to be in the present, and if there's any baggage, any limiting beliefs that is holding you back, you gotta seek help. Whatever it is, plant medicines, a therapist, a coach, a friend, a walkabout in nature, whatever that is. You gotta let go of the past, you gotta let go of the karma, you gotta let go of the baggage that's keeping you in that lower vibration. So heal yourself. And then the second most important work is for us to work together and live in a state of love and joy. Because by doing that, we all become co-creators. And the more of us who start co-creating from a place of love, freedom, joy, that's when we have a chance to be moving towards a major evolution. That's why my hashtag is evolutionary humans. We have a chance to become evolutionary and shift the course of our evolution, so we don't move towards extinction and destruction. That is the saddest and the most tragic thing to me, because we have potential for so much more. And I can have this conversation for hours with you. We haven't even scratched the surface of our potential. But just think about the great spiritual teachers of our past. Jesus, Buddha, Krishnas, and many others, and then the gods from Greek mythology. We have the gift of the gods as well. We have the same gifts of our spiritual teachers that we admire so much. But we are taught by religion that we don't have that potential, that we are sinners and we have to behave a certain way. That has actually crushed human potential. And yes, a lot of people have used their potential to destroy, to distract. And the only way we're going to win and not allow these people, the greed, the fear, to keep destroying, to keep competing, the only movement that's going to win over that, it's love. It's us rising. It's energy. It's like the Force from Star Wars. It's not sheer force like punching and attacking each other. It's our energy. Energy has more power than anything. You don't believe me? What can an atomic bomb do? What can an atomic bomb do? Can destroy an entire planet. That's the power of energy. Atomic bomb is based on energy, it's compressed energy. Physics say if you compress energy in the size of a cubic centimeter, you can compress so much energy in a cubic centimeter that it has enough energy to boil the entire ocean of our planet. So if you don't believe in the power of energy, just study physics. Study the power of atomic bombs, study the power of energy that can boil the entire ocean. Okay? Power of like radiation. So that's energy. So energy that comes from the frequency of love, of joy, of freedom, of abundance mindset, it's stronger than anything. So yes, we need to do the work. We can't just think positive anymore. We need to go into deep meditation. We need to visualize the world we want to see, and then we need to make our actions congruent with that. We cannot sit in meditation and then go out for a walk or to a store and start looking around and judging people. That doesn't work. We need to align our values. We need to align our heart and our actions more than ever, because that's how we're going to create a better, sustainable, healthy, free, abundant, joyful, spiritual world. So you want to learn about spirituality, you just got to less about spirituality here, because as a coach I make it practical for everybody. I bridge deep spiritual teachings. We have the personal growth movement, we have the spiritual, deep spiritual teachings. I'm the bridge right in between, who brings values from both sides and create a practical, a roadmap that you can read and follow. So that's what I have for you today. Most important things to do: heal yourself, heal your baggage, and do the practice, whatever it takes for you to vibrate in the space of love, frequency of love. Watch your thoughts, protect your energy, and let's do this. It's time, and we cannot be passive anymore. It's time to put time in the work, and let's create the world that we want to see, the world that we have potential to create together. That's the message I want to share with you today. We'll love your comments, your insights, and please share this video. Help to spread positivity. You're going to see a lot of videos like this. A lot of videos promoting life force, love, evolution. Thank you so much, and I see you very soon. Mwah.